republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, I ain't no one here. Can you do this? You have enough people.
Hey, you got me, what more do you need?
You're right. All right. The last meeting, when I was here, I said to John Shannon about pulling over Gene Young, a very nice man in this town, telling him he did a rollover or over California rule. And I really kind of went off on him a little bit. But now this meeting, I came here to apologize because the chief told me it was him that pulled him over. However, I just left Gene Young's house and he said, he knows you. He said, you did not pull him over. He said, I know John Shannon as much as I know my own family. John Shannon pulled me over. He said, for you to stop up and say them words to him, and he wants anybody in this council to please come up and see him. He is old. He doesn't come out at night, but he said he would appreciate if anybody stopped up. He goes, I already took Shannon's license number. I took a picture of his car. I've already sent all that off with a friend of mine to take to Harrisburg. He said, but it was him, and I'm not sure why you said that to me. I don't want to think that you lied to me, but he said, he knows you and you know him. He said it was not the chief. It was John Shannon. He had no business pulling me over like that. And he was so, I can't even tell you how upset he was just 10 minutes ago. He was saying, you go down there and you tell everyone I'm coming to see me. He said, and the man does not have anything wrong with his mind. He knows what he's talking about. I mean, everybody likes him. He said, I know John Shannon real good. He said, it was John Shannon. He said he had his, in the grill was this red light. And it was, I thought he said a red vehicle. But it's all of you, any of you, stop up and see him, because I don't even, this is really amazing to me. And if that happened and you lied to me, I wish you wouldn't have, because that's wrong. I get it.
I'm gonna stop you right there. I didn't lie to you. I pulled him over for running the stop sign. He ran two of them. After he made a right-hand turn and he came in an online line of traffic, is when I turned around and started following him. I watched him run. I watched him slow down, but did not stop for two stop signs before I stopped him right down at the hill on 2nd Street. Almost in front of,
and take one of these people with you.
Greg's house.
This man he said he knows you, and he knows John Shannon as well as his own family. And he is related to Janelle. I mean, it's like, the whole story's weird, but he didn't hesitate.
The only interaction I've ever had with him is from pulling him over. So I'm not sure how he knows me.
Oh, he sits on his front porch, he knows everybody. He knows you, he sees you going by all the time. He said, no, I know the chief, it wasn't him. He said it was John Shannon. He started screaming at me, and I said, well, the chief said it was him. He said, well, the chief is lying. So I know you and John are friends, and I know John shouldn't have done this. If you recover for John, because he's not going to get in trouble. He did send all that to Harrisburg, but I don't think, because he's trying to get him for harassment, they're trying to do something in Harrisburg. But no matter what, he said he knows you and he knows John Shannon, and one can't lie for the other. You need to either stop up and see him, or I wish anybody here would go up and see him, because that whole thing is like bizarre.
This is the way I'll take care of it next time. I won't give him a warning. I'll write him a ticket and we'll have paperwork to prove it.
Well, why don't you stop up and see him tomorrow and ask him?
I will.
Tell him it was you, only hear what the outcome is. But he said that positively it was John Shannon. He said it was not the chief. I know the chief. I sit here and I watch him go by 100 times. He said, and he did say, and I know he's always down with John down at the gun shop. He said, I don't know what the deal is there. He said, but I will tell you now, John Shannon will be over. And he said he had something slopped on his shirt. His fly was halfway down. He said it wasn't the chief. He didn't even have a police clothing on. So, there's any of you. Somebody go talk to him. I don't want to look like the nut woman here, but I just left his house and he's dead. He said, I'm telling you, it's John Shannon pulled me over and he had no right to do that. So, I don't know. Mike, you stop to see him. You like doing that stuff. See what he says. Seriously, I want somebody else there to store it, other than me. Or Scott, you live up that way, go see him. He just lives a door up from the funeral home. Sits out in his porch all the time. Nice man you ever want to meet, knows everything good about Wrightsville. He'll tell you the whole history of it, but the whole story is bizarre. But somebody needs to go see it. I think that's all I have.
Any other public comment? If not, we'll move right into council reports. Administration and finance.
So I told Tammy and Lori to put their heads together and come up with some job functions, and to locate the prior job posting for me that was, what we had posted when Tammy was hired. So Tammy found that for me, and she and Lori came up with some essential job functions, requirements, and other skills. I can read over the list if you want me to. This is for the part-time office assistant, 20 to 25 hours per week. Anybody want to hear the requirements?
Sure. Yep.
Essential job functions are answer, screen, and transfer the inbound calls, receive and direct visitors and clients, general clerical duties including photocopying, faxing, and mailing, maintaining the electronic and hard copy filing systems, handling requests for information and data, not the right to know requests though, that's Tammy is our right to know officer. Maintaining office supply inventories, sorting and distributing incoming correspondence. They obviously need to have the knowledge of the computer and the relevant software that we run, knowledge of the operation of the office equipment, knowledge of clerical procedures such as filing and record keeping, and knowledge of principles and practices of basic office management. When their resumes come in, I look at the attention to detail, how well they write. I want somebody who's fluent, understandable. So their written and verbal skills, their attention to detail, flexibility, and adaptability, because one of the requirements that we had with Tammy was she had to be present for, was it just the regular monthly meeting, or just for the reason that we had, for the first meeting of the month, Tammy wasn't able to be here. The office assistant should be able to be here in Tammy's absence to take minutes, and being able to distinguish what is information that needs to be written down and what kind of you can, let go. That's important, so I would require that person to be here for the first maybe 3 to 6 months of their employment during our meetings, and require that at one point to actually take minutes and compare them with what Tammy has written down, so that we know, how well they listen to what's going on in the room. Obviously, customer service oriented, and they have to be able to work as a team and also be able to work independently. So those are some of the requirements. Is there anything else that anybody would like to see on here? We'd like to advertise sooner rather than later, so that we can start gathering some resumes and do some interviews, because it's going to be until at least mid to late March before we get someone in here.
Where do you guys,
We have to have a motion first, probably, to hire the person, or to start the process, and for the advertising.
you guys feel you're ready to do that, Crystal? To start the advertising now?
I do believe so.
Alright. I'd like to make a motion to have Tammy advertise for the part-time office assistant based on the guidelines that were putting forth in this general job description.
Second.
Any other questions, additions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay.
Tammy, in order Lori did Lori say she's ready to start?
She was ready to start 2 months ago.
Yeah, I knew that, but I can't remember if we gave the okay to go ahead with the advertising also. I think we did. We talked about it, so.
I know she said that she was going to mention it at the authority meeting, so I'm not sure if she did so or not.
You mean just recently she did?
Yes.
Then we probably did. We talked about it, we didn't do like you did,
Okay,
gave the permission.
Just for the record, just double check and make sure they have it in their minutes. If they
Yeah.
don't.
It
then
might
they'll-
be
they'll
going
need
in the
to
next
approve it
meeting.
For their next meeting,
Right.
and then we can
And then we'll,
advertise.
yeah.
Yeah. We're having a special meeting.
I was gonna say, I don't think you did at the last meeting, but.
I don't think we did either, but we're having a special meeting about, maybe we can do it then.
Just drop it in real quick.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
When's that?
What did I say, 26th, 27th, somewhere.
27th is Sunday. Oh, no, 27th is Friday. 26th.
Oh, the 26th?
It is, that's a Thursday.
I don't have a calendar.
It's the 26th is the Thursday.
Thursday, 26th.
29th is Sunday. That's what we want.
He was supposed to be here.
Since it's part of finance, their special meeting is gonna be about, unless I'm mistaken, about, financing, changing the bond issue to a loan and some other financial maneuvering, which they will need us to, co-sign.
Co-sign.
So, but I mean, it sounded right when I was there, it sounded like the thing to do, but I guess they're gonna have an informational meeting.
Resolution. I found that after
So.
we finished it.
They're just always spending money.
Good. Then
Well,
she has to-
We gotta spend money for the
I'm just harassing.
for the Helm Street Water Project,
The administrative-
redoing the water line on Helm Street. So
So that's,
the time's right to
Resolution back in 2009
get it moving.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get down to,
was under the assumption that he was.
Public Works, cause I wanna see
But
where,
I found out from
oh,
the-
John probably knows more about that than anybody.
yeah, John said, like I said, he'd be here
Chief
later, so
accounting officer.
hopefully he'll get there.
So it needs to change, like,
Do we need to cover this next item, Crystal, or?
Well, I was just talking to Tammy about that. Keith should be here, which obviously he's not. It was discovered during the audit of the pension that Missy is currently the chief, accounting officer, which is not good. So we need to get that taken care of, and we have to do it by resolution. Right, Chris?
Yeah, that would make sense to me that you want to pass a resolution appointing somebody else.
Keith was under the assuming that he has been the whole time, but it came out from the Auditor General that back in 2009, a resolution was approved that it changed hands to the Borough Secretary. So therefore, during this whole pension audit,